And this morning, we just quickly start off with a tribute that's to Ahue. That's the song in the background. Ahue passed away. That is yesterday morning. May his soul rest in peace. Of course, Ahue has been in the Namibian music industry for over quite some time, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was he?
50.
50?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was 50.
That's actually no age, is it?
Yeah, so, but the good thing I love about him is unlike other artists like the late Jackson, actually he got his, that's the Namas.
Right.
The Lifetime Achievers Award.
Yes.
He got it while he's alive.
Oh.
So I must say big ups to that, because in 2018, him and Jomo is a drummer. They're in the same band.
Okay.
So they used to play in this band, and Jomo was the drummer. He's a guitarist. They got their Lifetime Achieving Awards. That's at the Namas. That's in 2018. So unfortunately, legend has passed on, and yes, good music that we remember him by, and of course. He's from a wrong origin. That's where he grew up, yeah?
You know, with these artists, even when they, pass on and they move on and all that kind of stuff, their music remains behind. So we can always, remember them.
His music will forever be remembered, yeah? Especially in the Namibian community. He's been... But, I was asking what happened to him, and I was checking out at this other guy's platform, and he said apparently he was outside his house and he just collapsed and died.
Wow. Okay,
so
condolences.
Yeah, may soul rest in peace.
Yes.
But nevertheless, good morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Mix. Today is Tuesday, and it marks the 17th of December. Hannes, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Sammy. It's nice to be back, and nice to have all our viewers and listeners out there here on Informanté. It's nice to be back.
It's nice to be back. Tell us, where have you been anyway?
So I took a little bit of a trip down south, basically down south, through the desert, if you like, past Solitaire, then, go into the, going down to Beta, to Aus, to Luderit. So we decided to do, the southern Namibian country, if you like.
Yeah.
Not all the way to Roshpina and Oraniemund, only basically to Aus and all that kind of stuff. What was fantastic was that we left last week Friday, and basically for the whole weekend it rained all the way to Aus.
To Aus.
Yes. Kind of drizzly, and the temperatures were fantastic. It was like 20, 21 degrees, so it was great.
While we're getting burned by the sun, you were enjoying some lekker weather, eh? Oh no. At the same time, let me say good morning. That's to Elmar Mario Bierkes, yeah? And Lawrence Boyce, welcome on the show as well. A very good morning to you. And and you love the show. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Kanjego Zedman, Washa, as always, good morning to you. Lucia, welcome to the show, and of course also saying rest in peace, Ahue. And Sed has also joined the show, saying good morning. Not to forget, Kanjego Zedman is basically Chikango at the borders of Angola. That's where he's from. Mm-hmm. And Lucia Shivede is also on. Good morning to you, Lucia. And of course, the rest of you that have joined. And Lawrence also saying rest in peace, Ahue. And he's saying that he was really a legend. Rest in peace, Ahue. Rest in peace, Ahue. That's Ansa also coming through. Max also coming through saying the same. So good morning to all of you and welcome to the morning mix. As you all know, we always start off with the weather. Yesterday we had a few showers. It was drizzling and just a little bit of a rainy in Windhoek. But let's see how it will look like, Hannes.
Yeah, okay, looking at the satellite pictures, we had some rain yesterday, mostly over the northern parts of the country. Mm-hmm. Looking at the satellite picture now, that we've still got great cloud cover all the way from basically southern Angola coming over Oshakati, Ondangwa, a little bit over into the Kunini region. Then we've got Rundu covered, Tsumeb, Grootfontein, Otjiwarongo, all the way down to Windhoek and Gubabis. Mm-hmm. Then, let's have a look what the Namibia Meteorological Service has to say. The weather today, sunny and hot in the interior, also in the extreme west and southwest. Otherwise partly cloudy and hot with isolated thunder showers, but scattered thunder showers in the eastern part of the Otjizonjupa, western part of the Kunini, and also the Khomas region. For those of you who are on holiday at the coast, partly cloudy and warm with a few showers in the north at the coast. And then the wind moderate northwesterly to southwesterly. For those of you catching fish today, I know there are a whole lot of people down at the coast. Die van julle wat vis vang. So high tide. Yeah. Oh no, not that fish. We catch our own fish without permits and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So this morning at 7 o'clock we had high tide, low tide again at 1300 hours, and high tide again at 20 minutes past 7 this evening. So for those of you that are catching fish down there, go and enjoy.
I saw they had quite a good fish catching weekend, eh?
Yes. Did you see all the pictures?
I saw all the pictures and they were like, "This is not fish rod."
Yeah, I know, which is really great.
People were really enjoying catching fish, and it was actually good to see Namibians just enjoying the resources without stressing about the fish rod.
Well, it is December month. We are all taking it easy. We're taking it a bit slower. You're on holiday, so make sure that you drive safely. Then also just looking at the minimum and maximum temperatures for today. In the eastern part, Gubabis, 22 and 36. Henties Bay, 10 and 29. Katima Mulilu, 22. And also, where are we now? Oh, yeah, 22 and 26. Also, Keetmanshoop, 25, 34. And then Ondangwa, 22, 34. Then Otjiwarongo, 19 and 34. And then Walvis Bay, 15, 26. And Windhoek, the capital, 19 and 33.
You know, the maximum temperatures for the rest of the country has just been above 30 for the past week.
Yeah.
The only places that really, you could say it's in the 20s, it's the coastal towns of Namibia.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying now, Hannes? I wish I was you.
I know. But it's also nice to come back to work on the 17th of December.
You coming back when the weather looks a little bit fine.
Yes.
So probably you brought the weather.
I know. And it's nice and quiet in Windhoek, isn't it? We just like
extremely quiet. It's like me and Dirk was saying it's a ghost town.
Yeah, it is Coleman's Windhoek.
But yeah, and don't forget that we'll be having Fabian Amukwelelo. He's from the city of Windhoek, and he'll be telling us more about the current happenings, especially in the city, and what the city of Windhoek is planning. Yeah. Womka was talking to him this morning, and he was telling me about the housebreak that happened at their place where he was at work yesterday.
Okay.
And they took even food. They went into the fridge, they emptied it, took his TV, took his clothing.
Yeah.
So I was like, those must be people from around your neighborhood, because they actually knows what's happening. Because there's no way somebody comes from nowhere and just come break in during the day like that.
Yes.
It's a risky situation. So somebody that knows and that has actually planned this whole situation. But just to start off, let's quickly check what's happening in the world of sports. Now, congratulations, that's to New Zealand for beating South Africa. That's in the Sevens Women World Rugby Series. That's 7-5. So the ladies right there show still that New Zealand is one of the best when it comes to rugby in the world. So big ups to them. Something good that will be happening in the north is there will be a tournament that's on the 30th of December 2019. And they say this is one of the best tournaments that's in the Oshikoto region, whereby it's called the Elombe Sports Tournament. This tournament is basically just the people that started it. It started by Elombe Combined School.
Okay.
And they started it because they wanted to promote sports. They wanted to develop young athletes, and they wanted to invest in education because the money that's coming from there,
yes,
put back into the school.
Yep.
They fund the funds, water, and all the infrastructure that is in books and all that. So
right.
It's quite a good initiative. So if you're up in the north, that's something to look out for. Now, the tournament also features the likes of volleyball, chess, and they will have a Hollywood-style beauty pageant that will also be taking place. So all of that will be happening on the 30th, that whole weekend. So it's a fun-filled weekend. If you're in the north, it's something to look out for. I think those are the two major headlines that I have for you when it comes to sports this morning. So yeah, we move on. What's happening in the news, Hannes?
Okay, in the news, we are having a closer look at a couple of the news headlines as far as the newspapers are concerned. Well, the Namibian has got something that our president, Dr. Hage Geingob, says nonsense. I'm not soft. So Dr. Hage Geingob is not backing down from any of this.
Let me see, is it to do with the fish rod?
That's got still something to do with the fish rod. Are we seeing a trend that this whole topic is busy dying down for the Christmas period and the New Year's period, and then it'll only pick up again as of next year, or what?
I don't know. I don't think it's dying down. It's more like it's just there.
Right.
I don't know if it's because people want. Especially now that the guys want bail. They went to the high Supreme Court and they want bail.
Yeah.
Just makes it even worse because people are like, okay, let these guys rest for now in jail and let's continue with this next year. But now they're asking and they want bail. So that just open up the wounds again. And so the case is just there. You don't know if it's moving forward or it's moving backwards. It's just there. It's just floating. So we don't know where it's headed to.
Yeah. Well, you're getting like a whole bunch of different stories from different, shall I say, accused, if you like. The Namibian also reports that Esau claims that arrest charges are politically motivated.
Yeah, that's what he claims because I read in their affidavit whereby they say it has to do with what's the guy called Job Ampanda because he's running for mayor next year, so they want to implicate him. Apparently he's the one organizing the youth to create all this chaos, blah, 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 blah. But then the Namibians are like, no, it's not about Job, it's what we saw on the video.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with politically motivated stuff. It's what we saw on the video. And then somebody asked, did he even see the video or is he just talking?
Yeah.
Because if you saw the video, then you know why people are demonstrating. Then you know why people are angry.
Yeah, because they know the inside story. They know all the details. For those of you who have not watched the, what's it called? Anatomy to a Bribe.
Yeah.
So if you have got access to a computer or maybe the internet, go and watch it.
Yeah,
go
and
and
they're
check it
saying
out.
apparently they feel like they have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Complaining about the transportation that they received. And I'm like, do you see the guys that I arrested are put at the back of the bucket?
Right.
You guys are lucky you even got a van.
Yeah, some of the newspapers are also saying, I know the Republican is saying this morning that they are highly perturbed about the fact that they had to have a very unpleasant ride to the farms.
So what?
And so, yeah.
And they say apparently the treatment they're also getting at the prison where they are is not good. It's prison.
Yeah, it's not a hotel.
It's not. Now, I was reading one of the comments whereby somebody said, even our Ministry of Justice doesn't know what happens in our prisons or what.
That's exactly it. I mean, yeah, exactly. If Saki Shangala, if he's sitting there and he's now so surprised by it, that means basically, you haven't visited your own jails.
Yeah. So you're complaining. So it means
Well, why don't you give us your opinion? Send us your message on our video. In the meantime, the Namibian is reporting that missing EVM machines have been found in Havana settlements. 2 of 4 electronic voting machines that allegedly fell off a trailer while under the care of former Justice Minister Saki Shankala.
That trailer is off the hook.
Were reportedly found in Havana.
Yeah, check. One was found in Ochivarongo.
Okay.
One was found in Bragwater. And all of a sudden, 2 just seemingly appears in Havana after elections.
Right.
My question is, these machines got lost in 2017.
Yes.
What is the condition of these machines? Because I don't see anybody saying these things are in a working condition or they've deteriorated. They just say they found machines. In what conditions are these machines?
Yes.
Because if they've been there for 3 years, they must be dusted up. And we wanna see pictures, or were they under a roof kept safe for what?
Yeah, something like that. We're going to have to watch it. We're going to have to check, see what happens. Kom ons wag maar 'n bietjie. There's nothing else we can do about that.
I give up.
Yeah, then, then the newspapers are also just saying election boycott at Oshakati over Shimbulu U-turn. That's basically reporting that there are a couple of disagreements with people who...
I think she resigned.
And now kind of coming back.
That's the coming back is where the people are not happy about, and that's why they are protesting. Again, Namibia.
Yeah.
We never seem to see the wrongdoings. We just want to put in the people that we know, and because they are politically affiliated, they always get back in position. Not good.
Then I've got some sad news.
Yeah.
Okay, the Sun newspaper is also reporting that suicides are nearly doubling in December. And they are reporting that we've got, on average, around about 40 suicides a month during 2019.
40?
And that doubles up in December, which is really sad because it's all contributing because of the stresses, the work stress, the financial, economic situation, all that kind of stuff. In December, it just kind of just reaches boiling point.
40?
Yeah. So 40 a month in general. The way I understand this article is that it then absolutely goes up to about 70 or 80. There is help available, so to get into touch with
I must say,
local
it's also
authorities
been
if you
a
need
little
assistance.
bit of a tough year for some people.
Absolutely.
Just ends meet. It's very difficult. And I hope at least next year will be better, but it doesn't seem like that. And, you know, when I was listening to Dr. Quentin, when he was speaking, when he said his goodbyes to the employee, he did mention and says that it doesn't look like it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Economically, unless, especially now with the fish rot situation going on, it has become so difficult to attract investors into the country.
Sure. Because we're corrupt.
So it's very difficult to convince an investor to invest in Namibia, because now they will be like, okay, I can invest, but you guys are corrupt, blah, blah, blah. So that created just a little bit of a downfall for our economy as well. So let's see. He said, let's hope governance will improve, because if governance does improve, then I think our economy will also improve. But if we have the same old people that are corrupt in our system, I'm feeling very sorry for us. Then,
yeah,
I don't think it. But anyway, let's hope for the best, like the weather.
I see Alois Cam is saying here on our Facebook page, how do those machines fall off? I absolutely agree with you, Alois. How do these voting machines just fall off the back of a trailer? I mean,
in 3 different places.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to sit it out and
no, the machine, the trailer story. You know, it started off with the trailer story, then it became the fish rod story. So it's okay. I don't know what's the point? They found the machines. Now what? So what must we do now? Must we say thank you? Found the machines. Elections were not rigged. Or what are they trying to prove? Why didn't they find them earlier?
Yeah, or why didn't they just say, hang on a moment, we are starting the voting process. We've got 4 machines that are unaccounted for. Why don't you tell us before the time? We've got four machines, if not more, that are unaccounted for.
I still want to see those machines. Yeah, I want to see the condition they are in. Elma come through saying Esau and his comrades complain about backache because of being transported in a bakkie. They complain.
Yeah.
They're used to the luxury life. I think it's Christmas. People had plans, eh?
Yeah.
December plans, and all the plans were ruined. And Regine, good morning to you. Saying, morning, guys. What are you discussing today? As I always say, on the morning mix now, we just basically give you updates on what's currently happening. We really do not do topic discussions. Fabian will also be joining us in a while. He'll be telling us more about what's happening when it comes to crime, the 8,000 Namibian dollar fine. If you have a question regarding that, please come through as well on our Facebook page and just tell us what you think. And Elma came through saying Esau and his comrade should just face the music and stop complaining. Mm-hmm. They probably think we didn't watch the video. However, as a democratic country, they are innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. We are also not arguing that.
Yeah.
But, they are under, investigative arrest. So, it needs to be properly investigated. The authorities now need to go and do their job. And, with this kind of accusation, it's quite a serious thing.
Let's just see that's why I say I want to see where the case is going, because now we are just back and forth. But talking about that case, I think Nigel yesterday appeared in front of the magistrate, and his case was postponed to next year, March. Mm-hmm. So they said they're not going to give him bail. They're not going to let him go out, and he said he's going to appeal, I think somewhere in Feb, so he can get bail. That's because he was obstructing, what do they call it? Obstructing, because he was hiding evidence and... Yeah, the course of justice, yeah. That's what he was doing for the second time, apparently. This is the second time he's doing it.
Okay.
So these guys are in there complaining about what the treatment they're getting, their kid being kidnapped, and the guys outside here are busy trying to hide their papers.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
And they still want to be in denial that they are not guilty.
Well,
let's
see what the investigations come up with.
Let's see how the investigations come through. And Komasdal 28 is where I just saw this, yeah. El Baso is finding himself in Komasdal, and he's saying he's enjoying the weather very. Morning, lekker weather here in the Hoofstad, Komasdal, 28. And Vel Maki is watching from Ondangwa. And we've got Regine coming through saying that the problem, he throws stones at every dog that barks.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Esau that is referring to Esau.
Yes.
And dying down and picking up.
Now we're going to have to sit this out and wait until it happens. In the meantime, we've posted this also on our Facebook page. Let us know of your comments. It's like Sammy said, the new driving under the influence bail fees.
8,000
Namibia dollars for Namibians and 9,000 for foreigners.
It came to my attention that the Deputy Minister of Safety was also arrested.
Wow.
For driving.
Really? I missed that. I will definitely do some investigating.
And he's the Minister of Safety, yeah. So, and Dog's case was postponed to next year.
Yeah.
That's March. He also got out from bail. That's for 8,000 Namibian dollar. Do you think 8,000 Namibian dollar is...
Well, I guess it goes with the times, Sammy, because, in the past, let's say it was $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 and all that kind of stuff. The question that I have is that really a deterrent, Is an 8,000 Namibian dollars a better deterrent to prevent people from driving under the influence than maybe a 3,000 amount or a 2,000 amount? It's certainly going into the right direction. I acknowledge this. Whether it's right or wrong, we need to see. But we as Namibians, we are well known that we've got the worst driving statistics in the world. So maybe this is the way to go.
And talking about driving, there's actually a video clip on our Facebook. That's the Informanté Facebook page, where a truck, let me see what speed is this truck driving. This truck is driving 120. The truck that was over, the truck in front that overtook the other truck. Imagine if this truck is driving 120. What speed is the other truck? Not truck, but a bus. What speed is the other bus driving?
Well, probably about 140, isn't it?
Which is beyond the speed limit.
Exactly.
And I overtook the other bus, and an oncoming car was coming. So it was just a split second.
Right.
So it just shows also, please, if you're on the road, please make sure that, and the guy is going and it's a, and it's a bus. How can you drive a bus 140, 160?
Stick to the speed limit.
Stick to the speed limit.
Talking about accidents, we are, do you know about the cyclist, the Swedish cyclist that was killed on the road between Aus and Rospina? I was in that region. It's actually, if you travel from Aus to Rospina now, it's a fully fledged tar road. It looks absolutely fantastic. A cyclist's dream. And a Swedish cyclist, together with another 2 foreign cyclists, were hit there by also a truck. And the one Swedish cyclist unfortunately passed. So make sure that during this festive season that you travel safely.
Okay, I think we can get Fabian into the studio so he can just come tell us what won, and he can basically inform us on the whole traffic fines and all that. Let's quickly do this and just stay tuned. We'll be back.
On behalf of Trusco Management, thank you for your service, patronage and support.
We send wishes of the happiest of tidings
and a hearty festive holiday season.
May the new year bring great news of project completions
and great rewards for having worked so hard during 2019.
Thank you for serving our business so well.
May your holiday be filled with cheer and warm memories, and the new year bring great rewards.
That is the sounds of Tate Buti teaming up with King Tidi and Gaza in the background, lifted from his latest album. That's Ochajera. If you haven't get yourself a copy, just make sure you get yourself one. Quite an interesting album, having quite a few artists. I think yes, Nsinger also on that album, Longizo, just to mention a few. A very good morning to you if you have just tuned in. This is the Morning Mix, the holiday edition, and finally we've got Fabian in the studio. Yeah, are you a surgeon? Are you an officer? Or are you a... no. So I just introduced you, right?
I know the ranks can be so confusing. I'm a sergeant.
Speaking them. Yes.
I know the ranks can be so confusing. I'm a sergeant.
You're a sergeant, yeah?
Yes.
So you must say Sergeant Fabian Amukwelela.
Correct, yes.
That's the proper way to introduce you right there. Now we're talking, so how's your morning?
I know the morning so far so good. I love the weather. Yesterday we got a bit of rain showers. So we are ecstatic.
Yeah. So how's things at the city of Windhoek?
Productivity, all is good. We're having our officers that are on operation, setting up a lot of roadblocks for visibility purposes, seeing that most people are branching out, going to various regions for their holiday destination. We are just trying to ensure that we look at vehicle fitness and ensure that those that are driving out, their vehicle are of such a standard that even though they leave Windhoek, wherever they are going, accidents will be minimized.
Yeah. So that's what you guys are doing at the moment. Now, can you tell us about the past weekend? What cases have you guys has been reported to your office thus far?
This far, I can start with road safety. We had a lot of incidents of reckless driving, which was brought up by the fact that there's fewer vehicles on the road.
Yeah.
And usually this trigger drag racing. It trigger people to try what they see in movies such as Fast and Furious. You know, a lot of people believe that when there is lesser vehicle on the road, there's less accident.
Yeah.
However, on the contrary, when there's lesser vehicle, people the road is open, and the youngsters with the GTIs. They make use of this opportunity to prove to each other that their machines are much faster than the next person. And those are the issues that we experience, and we dealt with them accordingly. We always try to neutralize those that are going out of line, as well as vehicles that were not fit.
Yeah.
When they are trying to brake, they end up bumping the next vehicle because of the speed that they are driving. We experience a lot of when it comes to crime. We experience a lot of property break-in. To be specific, Ochomwiste, Rocky Crest, Comasdal, opportunity are left visible. No one is left in the house. Security feature is compromised. We even have a footage. If I could have brought this footage for you, you'll be amazed. These youngsters, they are seated on a pavement in Comasdal. While seated, they were just observing a particular house. You could clearly see them in high definition. After some few minutes, they went into the house. They came with a lot of stolen items. And those that are staying in this particular area,
which Comasdal is that? Because one of our colleagues' house was also broken in yesterday when he was at work.
So these guys are just basically driving through those that are staying in the area. They are not even questioning these guys. They did not alert the police. There were about 6 of them. Literally, we could see them coming out of the house with a lot of items, and they disappeared. And it was in a broad daylight. These are the issues that we are experiencing. If you know this person is unfamiliar to your area, as much as they have freedom of movement, activate the neighborhood group and make sure that you deal with this individual, either by reporting them or just probing with question, can we help you? Because the person is just seated, loitering, with no particular direction.
In a case like this, if you see videos like this, what action does the city of Windhoek take?
We try to zoom in to see if they are our usual individual that we have profiled before, because we have an album where all the individuals that were involved either in theft, they were involved in property break-in, or assault, anything that they were involved in. The moment we effect the arrest, we profile them, and then we say the type of crime they have committed by taking their pictures. So our purpose now is just to identify if we know them. The moment we know them, as we have profiled them, we always also indicate and try to find out where they are staying. That's part of the profiling process. We simply go to their residence and go pick them up, and then we effect their arrest. That's how it works.
And so most of these guys literally has done the crime before they go back to the community.
Yeah, they are our habitually offenders.
Yeah.
And what leading to the issue of individual being habitual offenders is triggered by, if let's say for example your laptop has been stolen. The moment we successfully give you your laptop back to you, only a few individuals would want to go to the stage of opening a case. So most people wouldn't want to open a case.
Because I got my property back. Yeah.
Exactly. On technicality, this individual, they end up being released. And then you have situation of tourists. They are just in and out of Namibia. They will come in maybe for a week. They get robbed, or maybe their car was broken, their gadgets are taken. Now when we successfully get these items, tourists will say, no, by 12 o'clock, I have to be in South Africa. Or they don't want to go through that process.
The process of reporting a case, and because it will take...
And sometimes even if they report a case, by the time the case got to trial, the tourists would have left
the country already.
Yeah, and these guys are good at talking, They are really good at talking. They can talk themselves out of a situation. Those are the challenges we are facing. We are always blamed that once the point police officers are arresting individual, the next day you see them walking around in a butt in the street. But what public members don't understand, we don't deal with the legalities. As it's just to effect an arrest, the second phase is up to the magistrate, is up to a competent judge to deal with the situation. So if in that process justice has not been served, you cannot now come point finger at us and say police officers are useless.
Then it goes back to the judiciary system again.
Yeah.
They must create a default system whereby they say if we were caught stealing and that's it, you are officially charged. Somebody must not lay charges, because then...
Isn't the judiciary system rather frustrating in that respect?
It will be difficult in my position to talk against them. But what I can say is that on our side we are frustrated.
I can imagine.
Because you keep arresting these individuals and then the blame keeps being shifted to you as a law enforcer.
Yes.
That you are arresting, but at the end of the day you are toothless, because today the person is arrested, tomorrow they go commit the same crime. So what is the point?
Yeah, I can also imagine, you arrested somebody today, because I've seen, especially with theft, most of the guys that steal are always back in the street the next day. And the next, because I remember once we caught a guy, he grabbed somebody's bag, and I was in a taxi with this taxi driver. The taxi driver decided, no, I'm going to stop this guy. I think it was just there by the police station. So he went, I think, Katutrop police station. He ran, he went the other side around, he caught the guy in the riverbed, and he had a gun, caught the guy, took him into the police. The moment the guy arrived, it's like it's home.
Oh, come on. It's like everybody, yay, welcome back.
Yes, it's like,
no,
come on, I was the VJ, you are back again. No, it was like home. I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly. And looking on to other matters, we are aware that there will be a countdown. City of Windhoek is going to have an official countdown to 2020, where there will be some firework lightning that will be showcased. We just like to send a message to the general public that those that will be found on the night that are having fireworks, they are going to be charged, and it's not allowed. Knowing that from a perspective of this firework, they often, of course, they often threaten animals.
Yes.
Animals are frightened by this lighting,
and they
become all sort of confused and running up and down. For that purpose alone, we are not going to allow firework from individual properties or individuals that are celebrating. In the same vein, we have also noticed there are individuals that have a way of celebrating by shooting in the air. It's a way
with their guns?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes. It's a way of welcoming the new year. We all know, according to, say, Newton, the law of gravity.
All right.
What goes up
comes down.
Eventually has to come down. And then when it comes down, chances are very high that it might land on someone.
Yes.
We had cases in the past, especially those that are staying in shacks.
Yeah.
You know, shacks, a bullet can just penetrate through. And the last thing we want is someone reaching the following year with a bullet in their body.
Yes. Not knowing where it's coming from.
And for that purpose alone, we are just saying to the general public, be our eyes and ears. Should you come across unbecoming behavior, do inform us. And with regards to being on the road, let's avoid driving under the influence of alcohol. Now than ever, we are going to take a stiff approach. Should you be found...
Fabian, before you get to that, you said if you are found with fire, just before you get to that one, you say you'll be fined. If you find somebody with lightning and all that, how much? What's the fee for that? What's the punishment for that?
The fee for that, I don't have the fee for that here at the moment. But what we'll do in such a situation when you are found with that, we have officers that are dealing with bylaws.
Yeah.
They are, without getting into the nitty-gritties, there's a specific fine for that. And our officer that deals with bylaw, they are the one who will give you that fine. But it's a finable offense.
Yes.
Okay, no, I just wanted to get that in there so people just be aware, because you might just end up paying 10,000. So let's get it out of the way. Okay.
Talking about that, we have it now, and from what I understand, this is now the way it is. If you are caught driving under the influence, then bail is at 8,000.
Correct, for Namibians, yes.
And then 9,000 for foreigners.
Correct.
Could you explain why there is a difference?
Why there is a different, usually if you look even in other countries, you always try to be slightly lenient with Namibians, because even if you look in other countries, if you go to, for example, any hotel, in most countries you'll find that there is a price for local and there's a price also for foreigners. Because when you come in a country, you should have done your research about that country. And it's just to cement that when you come in Namibia, you should be the one complying more, because you are foreign to that particular place. So for that purpose alone, it's just to show that we have a zero tolerance to somebody that is coming from another side and then they want to come drive reckless. For Namibian, we also put the aspect of looking at the fact that it's December, people are in a joyful mood, and most people, they will be traveling, their budget is tight, but at the same time, we don't want any loss of life.
Absolutely.
So we are trying to, for that purpose alone, we are trying to make sure that we are slightly lenient, but the purpose is to prevent loss of life in the end.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. The process of the breathalyzer test is what I want to ask, because I've come to a situation where some Namibians feel it's illegal. They feel like that it's not been approved. It's a system that you guys use that is not legal. How does it work?
First of all, when it comes to that, they are always calibrated from time to time.
Yeah.
And itself, that gadget is not only the one which is used.
Yeah.
It's just used to determine your alcohol content. Thereafter, you are taken to a local hospital where blood is drawn. And then that blood that is drawn, it will be the final reading that if you are really under the influence of alcohol, that one is just an indicator.
So the breathalyzer that the officers always carry is just an indicator?
Yeah, it's just an indicator to go to the next stage.
If I refuse to take the breathalyzer, what will happen in that
incident? If you refuse, according to the Police Act, we are empowered to use minimum force.
If I refuse?
Yes, minimum force can simply mean even if we have to handle you in a way that the doctor can draw blood from you, even if we have to really like forcefully or grab you and blood will be drawn from you. So that's minimum force. And we are empowered by that.
That doesn't look like minimum force for me. That looks like maximum force.
It's minimum force because there is no injury to you with regards to... when we talk about maximum force, it's when somebody is beating you up and you are defenseless.
Yeah.
Here you are resisting, your body is fighting back, and we are not even slapping you. We are just grabbing you to the level of that we get that blood.
You get the blood. Yeah. So what's the minimum level that somebody is supposed to read?
0.37.
Is that the limit? 0.37.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
How much is that? Would that be like one beer? Would it be one shot of drinks? Or how much does that differ from person to person?
Yeah, it differs from person to person. You find somebody after one beer, they are acting already like
stupid.
Yes, exactly. So it does differ. What we can advise the public to do is breathalyzers. They are readily available. You can buy yourself one.
Yes.
And then you test yourself.
Sure.
If you know that you can't resist beer, that's the way. Like me, myself, I have a breathalyzer.
Yeah.
So if I go out, I test myself, then I'm like, oh, I'm going beyond, so let me not continue.
Do you think that Namibia, across the entire Namibia, not only in Windhoek, not only in the centers, the big centers, do we avail of enough decent, accessible public transportation, so that people that are under the influence are able to travel home safely without using their cars?
No, I don't think there is sufficient public transport or provision made by entities to, to transport those that are under the influence. But at the end of the day, you cannot blame, for example, Joy Beer House for not availing transport for their customers.
Okay.
You as a client or as a drinker, you already know yourself that if I get drunk quickly and I like drinking, so let me rather go with a friend that is sober.
Yes.
Or let me rather, after I've drank, let me rather sober up before I proceed. You should already police yourself because you know your weaknesses. You sort of have to do a SWOT analysis on about yourself in terms of your weaknesses when it comes to alcohol and so forth. So provision really, we cannot live in a society where even for you being drunk, you want to blame society for not making provision for you to be taken from the place where you are drinking to your house. I think that is just us self-policing ourselves.
Yeah. And attitude.
Yeah, and attitude as well, yes.
Okay.
I have a question because the offense of 8,000 Namibian dollars is for first offenders.
Correct, yes.
And the second offenders? Can you just elaborate more on that, because it's a bit confusing when you say first offenders. What do you actually mean by that?
First offender simply means it was the first time our officer dealt with you being under the influence of alcohol.
So if it's the second offense, you pay less?
No. If the second offense, the penalty becomes severe. It
becomes more.
Yeah.
It escalates.
Yeah, because I read somewhere whereby they say if you were what the offense, you'll pay $4,000 in the document that was released. That's why when I want to understand the $4,000, if you were recklessly driving or something like that, they say you'll pay 4,000 Namibian dollars.
No, the fact is, logically, if you commit an offense and then you are given a fine, there's no way next time will be lenient because there's a repetition in terms of behavior.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you are showing arrogant that I can get away with it. Because for us, what people should understand, we are not driven by the money that you give. We are driven by we want to inculcate voluntary compliance. And the moment you got a fine of 8,000 and you do it again, definitely the fine will still go up. Yeah, it will go up.
Yeah.
If found guilty in a court of law, does your driver's license then get taken away, let's say for a period of 3 months or 6 months or something like that? Unfortunately,
we are not at that stage yet. We are at the stage where you might even just end up being locked up. Okay. Yeah, especially when there's loss of life. Oh, yeah. It can be an immediate arrest. However, there is an ongoing process of making use of where we are going to come up with a point system where you'll be deducted points to a stage where it will become a fine. If you continue with that behavior, your license is going to be revoked. Yes. Yeah. I think it's called de-remetic, something like that. Okay. Yeah, where points will be deducted from you with regards to how you are behaving on the road. When those numbers reach a certain number, your license can be revoked. Yes.
But 8,000 Namibian dollars.
Yes.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Somehow I get the feeling you don't agree with it.
No, it's not. I don't agree. I'm just thinking of in a situation whereby you are not the victim. You're actually the victim. Then you become the, say somebody bumped me. Okay. I have to fix my car, but then I'll get arrested and still have to pay bail for 8,000 Namibian dollars.
Because you are under the influence.
Because I'm under the influence, but I'm not the victim. I'm not the one who caused the accident.
What you are saying, is similar to him having a firearm. Right. Doesn't have a license. Yes. Somebody breaks into his house or somebody attack him, then he kills that person or he injures that person. By the virtue that you don't have that license for that firearm,
that makes you a criminal.
It makes me a criminal.
That makes you a criminal. Fantastic.
That's a good example.
Easily explained, Sergeant. I totally love it.
It's like even though you defended yourself, you unlawfully defended.
Ja, die polisie gaan jou vang.
Problem that Namibians, that it's not, that they not really think about drunk driving, that they feel that it's normal, and now because everybody is outraged because of a life-threatening decision that you make to drive under the influence. It's alcohol is one of the reasons why we have such poor driving statistics.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, let's say, for example, we go to a European country. Let's take England, for example. I mean, every third shop on the street is a bar. So typically in England, you've got access to alcohol everywhere. Like we in Namibia. I mean, you've got shebeens everywhere. You've got pubs and restaurants everywhere. So us having access to alcohol is very easy. But unlike England, you don't, like you so rightly said, you feel that there is no, proper safe transport system. Yes, you can use taxis and all that kind of stuff, but that in itself has bred our Namibian culture that, don't worry, I'll just have 6 beers and I'll be fine to drive. And meantime, you are way over the limit with
And what I've
6
also
beers.
And what I've also noticed from first-hand experience, often people that drink alcohol, they don't like to associate themselves with 1 or 2 person who doesn't drink.
Oh yes,
They find that person boring.
yes,
But you can literally use that person to your advantage.
absolutely.
You go out, you go drink, and this person is your driver. You buy him a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle.
Give him the keys.
The
And
problem is that guy, that friend of mine that doesn't drink cannot drive, or he doesn't have a driver's license. Somebody asked a question here. Can the police escort me to my house if I'm slightly over the limit, for example, 0.38?
We do not do escorts. In the past, we did it out of courtesy. Maybe we saw your life might be in danger. Because sometimes you are under the influence of alcohol, and there are also individuals that might make use of the opportunity to rob you. Out of courtesy, in the past, we would assist just to take you home because we don't want you to be assaulted and so forth. And up to date, from police officer to police officer, we use our discretion in terms of if I see a drunk person walking up and above and his behavior is risky the way he's crossing the road, out of the human side of me, I can decide, let me drop him home. But it's not mandated for us to do so.
Yeah. Okay, let me get some of the questions. The officer is very sharp. I like his response to the question. Guys, just quit drinking. You are not losing anything, but are gaining so much if you are sober. That's a Willie Strauss coming through. Lucky Boy came through saying, so the time he was chopping, why did he not think of buying for police a limo to transportation? This, I think, has to do with Esa with them.
Okay.
Okay. Bonnie came through Dibas and say, have they thought of those that don't have money? Dololo, the unemployed.
Okay, let me answer that one.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from a hypothetical point of view.
Yeah.
You are under the influence of alcohol. You get a bill of you have to post a bill of 8,000 in relation to you being under the influence of alcohol. Then you end up killing someone. So since we are putting more emphasis on the 8,000, now look at it from a point of view. If you being under the influence of alcohol resulted in a loss of life, probably that person that you killed because of your reckless behavior is a breadwinner.
Yeah.
Having a daughter at home waiting for daddy to come home, and this daughter is schooling at a school that every month the bill is 2,000, and at the village, this guy that you killed has grandmother that every festive season you will send something home for grandmother to enjoy with other siblings that are that side. Now, weigh that part, weighing it with the 8,000. So if you look at the logic, you cannot put value to the 8,000 that you are giving.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even a life cover is beyond 8,000. So at the end of the day, look at it from a perspective. If you remove this person out of society completely because of your reckless behavior, money itself, that 8,000 wouldn't have been enough. Even if you took that 8,000 and give to the family who lost their loved one because of your reckless driving, it can just be used within a month and then it's done and dusted. But this person was earning a salary every month, getting sometimes even beyond that, but you took this person out of society for good. Let's look at it from that point. Let's not only look at it from the point of the 8,000, look at the possible implication of you being under the influence of alcohol.
What happened in a case whereby I give my car to somebody who doesn't have a license and I'm intoxicated and ask them to drive me home, but when you come to your stop, the guy doesn't have it? Would the guy get a fine?
That individual will get a fine, and there's also a likelihood that you might also get a fine. Because you, the owner, you will be held accountable for who you give your car to. Another example I can give, if you give your car to me and I go commit a crime, the first point of reference, when we look at the plate number, point of reference will be owner's detail, and we'll start with you. You will automatically you will be employed in the investigation because you gave your car to someone that used it for criminal activities. It's similar. It's the same concept.
The similar case. Somebody said, if you get a fine for driving without a license, can you make arrangements if you can't pay before due date?
If you are driving if you are driving without a driver license, what we normally do, you speaking under correction, I think you give 500 and then 1,000.
Yeah.
And then the moment you present your license or somebody brings it, then you give 500.
In a case where if I don't have one?
In the case that you don't have one, it's a fine of 1,000.
It's a fine of 1,000. Yes. But if I cannot pay it due date, that's what the person is asking. Can I make arrangements to pay on a later date?
Yeah, of course. If you don't have if you don't have a license, that is not a straight arrest. You just get your ticket. The court date will be finished on the ticket fine, and then you pay it. Either you pay it when you get the money, or you appear in court and it will either be postponed or you finish your reason why you got that ticket.
Bonnie is saying, surely we should groom you for future chief of police post.
Thank you. I receive.
We are running out of time. There's a question I always wanted to ask. In a case whereby the police surely knows that like Hannes was saying, you're in a street whereby there are shobins after shobin after. Is in a case like that where the police know that this street is full of shobins and you make a block at the entrance or at the exit of it, is it legal to do so?
Okay.
Knowingly knowing that these people are in this street and they are full of shobins.
Can you just repeat the question? I want to make sure that I get it here.
Yeah. Like Hannah said, you're in a street.
Yes.
Now this street, the entrance and the exit.
Yeah.
When you enter the street, it's just shobins. Let me say, for example, Evelyn Street. So after, say, I don't know what time, you put up a block at this entrance and at the other exit there. Is it really legal and wise to do so? Knowing that the people are in that street drinking?
It's legal because drinking is not the issue.
Yeah.
It's driving under the influence.
That's the issue.
So us, we are not limited where we can set up roadblock. Because the moment you are in that jurisdiction, you are going to drive out, isn't it? And we are preventing you from driving it out, going to areas where there's sober people, and then go cause loss of life because you are under the influence of alcohol. So yes, indeed, we can.
So it's not as if, understand me and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
it's not as if the police says you are not allowed to drink. You're allowed to drink. You must just behave yourself accordingly. But nobody says that if you're over the legal age and all that kind of stuff, it's not as if, you're not allowed to drink, but you're not allowed to drive under the influence.
Folks came through saying, are you guys still arresting people at the road block of Windhoek?
I hate using the word arrest because that's not our mandate, and that's the reason why city police is we are city police service.
Yeah.
Meaning our aim is to inculcate a mind of community policing, working together with the police. But on that question and on that note, yes, at the roadblock, should we find you where there's a reason for us to arrest you? Definitely, we cannot turn a blind eye. But there should be a justified reason for why our officers are arresting you. Either there's drugs that is found or there's carcass that you cannot account for. There should be a valid reason. But I cannot just wake up as a police officer and just be at the roadblock and arrest you. But as long as those elements that are mentioned in Sisana Manji's book are met, then definitely we can effect the arrest. Irregardless is at the roadblock or irregardless is in your private home. Only under those reasons that I've stated.
I like the fact that you said you are not there to arrest people, but basically to just educate. You want to work together, because people always see the police and they start hating and say, we don't like the police. I like the fact that you want to work together with the community so they understand that we are not here to arrest you, but basically to educate you, which is something good that you said. Somebody asked just before we love and leave, do traffic tickets ever expire?
We have different types of ticket fines. We have those ones that are having an expiry date. For example, if on a warrant of arrest, the moment you get a ticket, you are given a court date indicated on the ticket. So you have an option of either admission of guilt, then you pay for that ticket right away, or you have an option of paying for the ticket before the expiry date. Now, failure to pay it before the expiry date, come to court and then give your reason, whatever reason that you are having. Now, failure to appear in court, that's what is known as a warrant of arrest. That ticket automatically translates into that, where our officer will come and arrest you irregardless at your workplace or place of residence.
Because you are in contempt of court.
Exactly.
That's it.
And then we have our usual, we have also tickets such as parking meters, spot fines, where you park at a place and you didn't put the coin inside. Those ones don't necessarily have an expiry date. However, they will impact you when you are taking your car through roadworthiness, when you are taking maybe your license disc is expired. We look at all those things.
And you want to renew your license. I think I've come across something like that when somebody could not renew or get a license.
Yes, so all those ones, that's when they come back and hunt you if you don't settle them.
Okay, one last question here. And this one is actually interesting, What happens if you have a learners and not under the influence? And you don't have a driver's license.
And you drive alone? Are you alone in the car?
Probably driving alone or driving with a guy that has a license that's under the influence. Because naturally you can drive. I can drive with you if I have my learners and a driver's license.
Correct.
Now you are under the influence. I've got my learner. I'm not under the influence. Do I get a ticket in that regard?
That's an interesting one.
No, in such a case, let's put it this way. Okay, because according to the learner manual, you're supposed to have, for you to drive, having a learner, you're supposed to drive with somebody that is skilled, is knowledgeable. So the moment that person is under the influence of alcohol, automatically they are impaired. They are not knowledgeable. So in this case, wow, this one I don't know.
because look, I think you need the legal people in there.
This one is actually, it's an interesting one to come across.
But I mean, Sammy, think about it. You've got a learner's license.
Yes.
You're supposed to drive with somebody who's got a driver's license.
Yes.
So that person can guide you because you are not completely qualified yet.
Yes.
You need the driver's license for you to become absolutely fully qualified to drive a car.
Absolutely.
So now if you've got the learner's license, but the person with the license is under the influence of alcohol right next to you, in my opinion, what makes logical sense is that person is incapable of being able to guide you.
Absolutely.
So in my opinion, it would be the same thing.
So, for me, speaking under correction, I would give the fine to the learner. because at the end of the day, you being with a person guiding you under the influence of alcohol is as if you are not with anybody.
Exactly.
Because that person is not capable of guiding you.
Because you know what happens? I'm just using fathers, it could be mothers as well, but anybody who's got when can you get your learner's license? 16, 17?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
At 6. So anybody who's got a 16-year-old son or daughter just takes him with to the bar. Meantime, I get sloshed because my son or daughter is going to drive me home.
I would wonder how the police officer would justify testing the passenger's alcohol level in the vehicle.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Yeah, I mean, why would you test the alcohol level of the passenger in this case, where the passenger is the guy with a license and the person that's driving the car has the learners. So there would be no justified reason.
No, there is a justifiable reason, because sometimes at first hand you can already see the way the smell that is coming off from this person, or even their behavior. You can already tell this person is out. You just this first sight observation, you can already tell. So that will already trigger you for you to want to test the person. And that also is similar to in the past, just a few weeks back, we were having a roadblock. The cyclist was passing, and we called him because he was looking suspicious. Just when he approached us, he was smelling already. And that triggered us to check his alcohol content. Sometimes it's just obvious this person is under the influence of alcohol. And for you to cover yourself as a police officer, without to remove that aspect of assumption, then you just test this. Oh, wow, you're under the influence, so no proceeding from this point forward.
If we continue like this, we won't finish. Let me just quickly read some of the comments. Joseph came through saying Xmas event is not the moment of drinking, but if someone can't stay without alcohol, drink at home. Have someone who is sober to drive for you. Xmas is still the time to be with your family, friends, and celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, as well as all we know. As 99% of Namibians is Christian, so please do that. Nefungo came through there, said, Jana Mukwelelo, thank you very much. They must stop using brothers and sisters' licenses. And Kisi came through, as your tickets, I think this one has also already been answered. Tickets don't get expired. Warrant of arrest will be issued from in the form of a J50. That's Nefungo coming through as well. Victor coming through, because the passenger is a shadow driver, isn't it? That has to do with it. Yeah, but at the same time, this is just, as we said, it's not about giving a fine of 8,000. I think Sejana Mukwelelo did emphasize on that. It's not about giving a fine of 8,000 Namibian dollars, but it's basically about educating you and working together with the police. So we have sober drivers on the road. If you don't want a ticket of 8,000 Namibian dollars, whether you work or you don't work, it doesn't matter. Just don't drive. It's as simple as that. I think the message is clear right here. I think people are trying to justify drinking and driving, which is not the case at the moment. So, guys, please, I know it's the festive season. Let's not drink and drive. Sergeant, any other final words that you've got for us?
All we are saying is that the law is not discriminatory. Even myself, as Sergeant Amukwelele, you remove my uniform in my own private capacity. Should I be caught under the influence of alcohol, there's no exception. I would definitely be arrested. And we have proven that in the past with different people that we have arrested under the influence of alcohol, regardless of their status in life. So this law, it applies to everybody, and our aim is just to ensure that we co-inhabit on this road equally without inconveniencing the next person. Because where your right ends, somebody's rights begin. As much as you are drinking, there's that old lady that is driving, minding a business, going home, and the last thing she wants is somebody driving reckless on the road. And our emergency numbers is 061 302 302. We are appealing to the general public members to call us should they find themselves in a predicament. If you have issues with your neighbor, for example, maybe the branches of your neighbor, they are spilling over into your yard, call us so we can intervene. If you're having issues of dog barking and maybe they are also irritating you from the neighbor or any other issues, just call us instead of taking law into your own hand. We also have our SMS line number, which is 4444. Irregardless where you are in the world, you can make use of this SMS line number plus our SMS, our toll-free number. As long as the incident is happening in Namibia, we have a toll-free control room which will operate on a 24-hour basis. Make use of our service so that we can assist you. And with that, I'd like just to wish everybody a very productive, restful, festive season. And we would like them to come back in one piece. And Merry Christmas, early Merry Christmas to everybody. And thank you for hosting me, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Sechin, and have yourself a blessed Christmas, New Year. Come back in 100 pieces.
Thank you.